Welcome to the world of horror. It's a race against time to save the town of Shiokawa as it crumbles around you. When looking at world of horror, the objective is straightforward. Solve the cases, ascend the lighthouse, stop the old gods from taking over the world. What? I said it'd be straightforward, not easy. But nothing worth doing ever is, right? In starting a new game, the first tough decision is presented. What color scheme do you want? There's a lot to choose from here, I'm telling you. So I picked a few that I like and even gave them names. The game offers a few different ways to play from the get-go. The first is a quick one-shot of one of the mysteries of the game. Consider this if you're wanting to just dip your toe into the pool of madness. Then there's extracurricular activity, which is a skeptic run that can be run without having to worry about the more in-depth details of the game. Quick play is just that, a quick jump into madness with all elements randomly chosen. This option only gets better the more unlocks you have. Then there is custom mode, which allows you to choose the different elements of the run and customize it to your liking. Lastly on the list is challenges, which task you with beating the game under different scenarios. Do keep in mind that this mode is locked from the start, and you will have to get the Restless achievement to unlock it. It's fun, but there aren't too many, and I hope with future updates we can get more challenges using some of the other characters. Now going back to customize, it will be the common choice once you complete the one-shot mystery and start looking to unlock achievements and more content. First, you start with your seed, which will generate your mysteries, encounters, and just about every other RNG choice that you have. From there, you'll pick your character. Now, World of Horror has a pretty good list of characters to choose from, each with different pros and cons that influence your playstyle. Personally, I'm a fan of Mariko. Do note, however, that you start with a limited number of characters on a fresh save. New characters, weapons, mysteries, encounters, guides, etc. are unlocked through achievements. But don't worry, a lot of achievements in this game are pretty easy to get. Now to name a few of these characters, you have Mimi, a medical student with an obsession for her craft. Yashiro, a priest combating not only the horrors of the town, but his wavering faith as well. Mariko, the shotgun-wielding badass, her pop shotgun by the way. Haru, heavy smoker and professional Kiryu impersonator. And Mizuki, the charismatic idol on a come-up, if she can survive these horrors. You can choose your backstory, which adds on unique modifiers further influencing your run. With the 7th curse, good luck keeping friends, as you'll start with more money, but can't have any allies. Another is ill-fated. With that one, good luck being lucky, because you won't ever pass another skill check. There are a number of backstories, so take the time to try them all out. There are 5 difficulty levels that the game offers. That's more than enough to satisfy the casual and the masochist, and everyone else in between. The difficulty levels are: Skeptic, you have the highest starting health, funds, Doom Restoration, and only have to complete 4 mysteries instead of 5. Initiate, which is very similar to Skeptic, with the slight difference of decreased Doom Restoration and requiring 5 mysteries. Cultist is the first difficulty where starting health and funds are lowered. Doom Restoration is further reduced, and locations start having threat levels, which adds negative modifiers when investigating these places. You can hover here to see what those modifiers are. When I first started playing the game, I didn't even know that you could see these, so it's a quick tip. True Believer. If you like things difficult, True Believer is the standard. This difficulty has the lowest starting health, you start with no lunch money, locations are even more dangerous, resting has an increased Doom penalty, and Doom Restoration for mysteries is the second lowest. Decisions really start to matter here, because your resources are so low. 5 to 6 bad encounters can have you ending up on a shirt or in the psych ward, so I highly recommend having some understanding of encounter outcomes and how to efficiently fight if you want to survive. Harbinger of Doom. The universe is against you with this difficulty. Shops cost more, initial character stats are reduced by 1, enemies deal more damage, more locations are dangerous from the start, Doom restoration for mysteries is no longer a thing. It's a lot, so good luck with this one. Then we move on to another major choice. Which old god wants Shiokawa and by extension the world on a shirt today? Each god will add another modifier that changes the world and adds unique encounters. Some will prevent you from escaping battles. Others will punish you for resting. And some will just stare at you. Daring you not to blink. Or else. After that, you're ready to dive into the game. So, first things first. The UI can be overwhelming. The tutorial does a okay job explaining it, but be prepared to continuously ask yourself, what the hell am I doing? What the hell is that? As you play first starting out. There are a lot of tabs and a lot of icons that do something, and some that don't do anything. I see this being one of the main factors that will determine whether a person sticks with this game or not. Just learning the UI. Asking, what does this button do? Or what does this icon mean? Will get you far. Each character has something unique to offer, and with that, the game offers a variety of ways to play it. This is another strong point, replayability. There are a number of variables that can change the playthrough. Seeing that many of these have to be unlocked, I can see that being a drawback for some players, but hear me out. Unlocking the characters, gods, backstories, items, what have you, only expands the game, and this game only gets better when you do. All random playthroughs are chaotic to say the least, and calls for adaptation on the player's part. And it's fitting because the nature of Eldritch Horror is the unknown, and for humans our uncomprehension of it only makes it scarier. You don't know what will happen when you investigate doing your mysteries. Who will you run into? What will you run into? The chaos of it all makes for some very intense rounds where you're close to the end, with the world ready to collapse, your body is broken, your mind is on the brink of shattering, and every encounter could be your last. When it all works out, it's extremely satisfying. And that's an aspect of this game that I enjoy too. It succeeds in having satisfying gameplay. Oh, yes. That's what I'm talking about. God, it took forever to beat this challenge. The dark cloud swirled around the lighthouse. Did you arrive too late? Yes. That's a W. I didn't even have to use the sewing kit. Once you're in your apartment, you're able to bathe, which raises stats, pick out some clothes, and see the mysteries that you'll tackle this run. Being randomly chosen, some runs will be more challenging than others, but all runs are runnable with just knowledge of the mysteries. It's encounters and personal choices that will dictate success versus failure. This is the section of the game that makes up the gameplay loop. So turn off the lights, choose a fit, pick a mystery, and get to work. Solving mysteries is just a matter of investigating until you reach the finale. Most cases you're searching different areas of Shiokawa, but a number of cases are more secluded and have different ways of progressing through them. All the while you're running into different events that range from non-hostile to hostile to absolute threats who woke up only wanting violence. Tell me, his voice sounds like a faulty radio. Would you like the red paper or blue paper? I'm just trying to wash my hands, bro. I'm just trying to wash my hands and go. I don't want anything from you. getting darker. Oh, chill, chill, chill. While on the topic of violence, World of Horror's combat is also an element of the game that new players may find challenging, but it's pretty simple once explained. Actions cost time. The amount of time an action takes depends on a few factors: your weapon, your character stats. Stats matching your weapon will scale better, so it's best to find a weapon that matches your highest stat. Perks and allies all can contribute to how much time actions cost. Each attack has a hit chance, which, like action time, scales based on various factors. Every enemy will damage the player in one of 3 different ways. Enemies can hit your stamina, reason, or doom. More than having a good offense, you will need a good defense as well. And you have 2 options to do that outside of possible equipment: dodge and brace. Dodge is sadly too risky, as it's more based on chance than brace, which is guaranteed to provide its effects. I guess escape too, but escape comes at the cost of doom, and depending on the old god, the option is completely disabled. As the game grows, I hope that the defensive aspect of combat gets improved. There's just not enough variety to make it engaging. If you ever need to play defensive, just brace. On the easier difficulties, combat doesn't call for too much thought. Run up, hit them with the 1-2 to the gut, 1 to the jaw, and you'll have enough health and sanity to be just fine. Once you hit True Believer and above, each combat encounter could be the one that ends your run, unless they deal doom damage. In the case of enemies dealing doom damage, you can just bully those enemies, running for everything they have. There are a bunch of encounters, and having played since early access, I still haven't seen every encounter this game has. Each encounter outside of combat will present possible actions. Some options are blocked without specific perks or items, and with the randomness of this game, it's rare to have an encounter where a block option is available. This is another critique that I have. I wish there was more skill-specific, item-specific, character-specific choices that I could have during these encounters. From my experience playing this game, a lot of those blacked out choices are usually worth it. Depending on the choice and the stat roll after, the outcome could be positive, negative, or both. Encounters are the meat of this game, and will be what draws you in the most. However, a flaw that I've found with encounters is that they can become trivial if the player decides to record all the possible outcomes for each investigation. It'll just take the fun out of the game, and it's a lot of work at that, as there are over 100 encounters throughout the game. The tone of World of Horror is bleak to say the least, and considering the premise of the game, encounters make for a great reflection of that. One minute, you're having a cup of coffee with your friend. Next minute, you're coming across a maggot-ridden corpse in the corner. You could find yourself becoming sloppy with your investigation, causing you to lose precious time, or if you're really unlucky, finding yourself face to face with something truly, truly evil. The brief moments of respite should be savored because there are many of them. World of Horror doesn't hold back with its content, and I feel that the game would only be doing a disservice to itself if it did. You get a little bit of everything, and with that, there are scenes and topics that can be very unsettling and straight up triggering to some players, so take caution. The world is... No. Reality itself is on the verge of being destroyed, and all the known and unknown horrors that exist are making the most of it. After putting in the hours in Shiokawa, World of Horror gets a stamp of approval from me. While some of the mechanics need to be fleshed out more, and general quality of life changes could make it easier for new players to get into the game, World of Horror is a great game through and through. There's a lot of content to explore and play around with. It's all carried by this eerie atmosphere that this game taps into consistently. You have the ominous locations, suspicious looking people, unsettling text, and most importantly, the soundtrack. I mean, listen to some of the tracks in this game. These songs will either have you bobbing your head or checking over your shoulder over and over again. If you're a horror enjoyer, you understand how important that feeling is for setting the tone. This game is a love letter to both the Lovecraftian and Ito styles of horror, all wrapped up in an extremely, and sometimes gross, detailed pixel art envelope. Check this game out if it interests you, and give it a fair shake of your own. If you've already spent some time in Shiokawa, let me know in the comments of your thoughts of the game. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, a thumbs up would be appreciated. And until next time, there's always a way out of a desperate situation.